Alright YouTube, for this vlog I'm really excited to make it because yes, it's about the man of the hour here in question, Batman himself, although this isn't the comic, or at least not the accurate Batman costume to the video that'll be about today, but I will say I actually adore this costume because despite the flaws of Batman vs Superman, I think this costume is incredible because it's like just so creative. I also just love how it's not like, pure black. I mean, I loved all the previous Batman costumes, but it was good to have like a refresher one and not one that was just like, a whack costume or just like corny, like Batman and Robin, for example. Although nearly 30 years later, I feel like Batman and Robin's kind of, served its time. So swing from the subject, so it'll of course be about the Batman Part 2, which is coming February 18th, 2028, which is about 6 days after I turned 27, so year and a half away. Exciting to see this movie finally, and I know it's been delayed, but through thick and thin, I'm still so excited for it. I do really hope we get a third part, but I was disappointed that the rumors that the Batman Part 2 and Part 3 were being filmed back to back. Hopefully it turns out that rumor knockdown is actually not knockdown, it's actually true, or hopefully it comes true or something. Hopefully, a point of the story, hopefully we get the Batman Part 3 sooner than 8 years, because although I'm not really here to like rag on Reeves for taking 6 years between a sequel, but I do hope Part 3 comes sooner than the jump from Part 1 to Part 2. But I'm going to talk about some news for Part 2. Supposedly, Scarlett Johansson's character is rumored to be playing Poison Ivy, which is apparently going to be one of the main villains of the Batman Part 2, and I am really excited to hear that because, it's a really cool character, and, the actress is very iconic, Scarlett, so I think she'll be a great addition to this series. I'm also curious if we'll get the origin of Poison Ivy, or if we'll just, she'll already be Poison Ivy, or if she'll be like, an anti-hero then a villain. But supposedly with the main villain, I'm getting the impression that the sort of character who's like the Batman aide or sidekick is going to be Harvey Dent, because I don't really think he's going to be Two-Face from the get-go, and I wouldn't even be surprised if he isn't Two-Face by the end of the movie, that if he's sort of just, dies a hero, or, lives long enough to see himself become the villain. I'm sure, we will become the villain if we get Part 3, but if Part 2, I'm just, really excited to see his character. Although I have heard a curveball that supposedly maybe that, I don't know if it's 100% confirmed, that Sebastian Stan might not actually be playing Two-Face. Alright, put it pretty simply, I've heard like, so many different things, and, I haven't really, I guess none of them are officially verified, but it seems likely. So let's just say he's not playing Two-Face. Another character they rumored to be playing is character Victor Zsasz, who's a completely hairless serial killer with a lot of scars and cuts on himself that he gives himself after he kills someone, which is, yeah, very dark and scary, but that could be an interesting character. And he is an interesting character, especially in the Gotham series, because he's both those things. The actor has no hair due to his alopecia condition, which is a really cool actor too, and his character Zsasz is funny in the Gotham series, definitely a good character there. But overall, I wouldn't mind not seeing Zsasz in the Batman verse, because I feel like he's a minor villain, and I don't know if they can really make him like this incredible, like, villain. It's a repetitive statement, but I am sure by the Batman Part 2, Oswald Cobblepot, they call him Oz Cobb in the script, which is funny, will be, the Penguin officially, because in the first one, he's sort of not really a villain, but kind of a villain. He's sort of like, I don't say an anti-hero, but he's not like, completely, villainous Penguin. But yeah, his character is really cool, because to the point where I forget that Colin Farrell looks nothing like that in real life, because I almost forget that these are like, that even is Colin Farrell due to other movies and his general appearance looking. So that's really good, because they, went on, love when actors undergo really good transformations for movies. Of course, Robert Pattinson's Batman is going to be cool in this movie too, and I think it's going to happen in winter. I'm getting that impression. I've still heard that. I think that's one of the more confirmed things than the rumored casting. And I will say, circling back, that I think Scarlett Johansson being Poison Ivy is 1,000 times better than her being Harvey Dent's wife. And we are going to see Harvey Dent's dad in this movie, I believe, who was a horrendous father and supposedly like very abusive to Harvey Dent, which kind of gives me a little bit of a flashback to two other characters throughout different comic book series that I'll talk about. Spider-Man, Harry Osborn and Norman Osborn, and something that's made by the nicher side, but Tommy Merlin and Malcolm Merlin. both of which the characters' sons become villains, although Tommy Merlin technically it's sort of not really what actually happened, just sort of an alternate verse. Yeah, I don't really remember how the Arrow continuity worked, but yeah, we all know that Harry Osborn comes Goblin Jr. and a villain, so there. I don't know if I'm sure that'll be a big origin into Two-Face's character, and I'm really interested to see it. We also know, or it's been fairly confirmed by now, I think, that Zoe Kravitz is not coming back as Catwoman, and even the Catwoman series for HBO, I heard, is scrapped or gone for now, which is a little bit of a bummer. It could have been cool, although I haven't seen the Penguin series just yet, but probably missing out, right? So, circling back, I don't think we're going to see Paul Dano as a Riddler in this movie, and honestly, I don't really think we need to see him again in the series. Not that he wasn't great, but I wouldn't mind if his sort of villain characters kind of served his arc, because he was really cool in there. And I'm curious to see what will happen with Falcone in later series, as well as James Gordon. So circling back, I'm circling back too much. So overall, I hope that Batman Part 2 is worth the wait. I'm confident it will be. And I kind of hope we get Batman Part 3 at all, honestly, because thinking about it, even if I have to wait 6 years, I can live with that. Personally, I'm not really that mad about a 6-year jump, because I've been very distracted these past few years between the Batman and thinking I didn't even know if we needed a Batman Part 2, because, for example, Joker 2, yeah, self-explanatory, horrendous movie, but the Batman ends on a note where it's like meant for a sequel and meant for more movies, whereas, you know, Joaquin Phoenix Joker's like, you know, really should have been a one and done. And speaking of which, are we getting more like movies in that? Because as far as I knew, that universe wasn't connected to the Affleck and Cavill DC, and it was clearly, obviously, not connected to the current DCU. So someone verify me that where that lines up in the series. But overall, thanks to the man of the hour, Batman. Stay tuned for more vlogs soon. Goodbye.